What's good, my peeps? Ronnie P is back with another one. Are you considering moving to North Carolina in the winter, but unsure if you should even make that decision and wait until the springtime, just like everyone else does? Well, you're gonna want to tune in this video because that's exactly what we're gonna be talking about today. What's up, everyone? It's Roney Polynice here. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. And while I have your attention, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell so you are notified every time I do one of these videos, sharing with you what it's like to live, eat, sleep, play all in Raleigh, North Carolina. And just as much as you are interested in learning about Raleigh, North Carolina, let's make sure we click those buttons and do all those things that YouTube and the algorithm makes us do, just so we can spread the word and reach a larger audience so they are fully aware of what's going on here. And just as much as I enjoy making those videos, I am a licensed realtor here, and I would love nothing more but the opportunity to help you relocate to the Raleigh, North Carolina area. So if you do have any questions, concerns, or anything that you want to know, my number's going to pop up right there. Make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. I love receiving your messages, text messages, everything that you guys do to reach out, because it helps me do exactly what it is I want to do. To kick things off, I'm gonna first say, the best timeline is gonna be your timeline. There isn't a perfect season to move, but I could definitely share with you a few things that happens during the winter time, so you are fully aware. If you are actually considering moving to North Carolina during the winter, what are some things you should be cognizant, aware of, and how that correlates to you purchasing a home here. So I'll actually start off by saying the fourth quarter I have seen to be the busiest time for me. Now, I don't understand the correlation to moving seasons to why is it the fourth quarter the most busiest time for myself. And the only logical reasoning and the thing that I was able to come across, or at least put together, is the fact that most people, they're actually, they don't really care about the holidays. So they're just, they're moving on with their life, or maneuvering the way that they have to.
Man, this is for Junior, and I gotta do what I gotta do for the little man.
Or they actually are trying to move before the holidays. Now this one here that I'm going to share is actually the most common that I hear, and it's just most people are preparing themselves for the new year and when they want to make that transition. So it's already been in this discussion. Now it's just a matter of let's make it happen. And that's one thing that I've definitely seen is a lot of people will reach out just in preparation for what's to come for them. However, to add on to that, the real winter doesn't really start here until, I would say, January, February. I mean, I'll just say January just to play it safe, because again, obviously the weather, it does its own thing. I'm very less in control of any of that, but I would say January is when you can start receiving those cold times, and the cold being 30 degrees, I could definitely say. And maybe you'll even see snow here and there. And if it is snow, just as I've already mentioned, expect the entire city to be shut down, and take it as a day off. Maybe not for you guys that work from home, but for the most part, for those that do have to commute, you could potentially look at it as a day that the city decides to just shut things down, and you have that day off. Now, I won't speak on too much of why it shuts down, but just to kind of sum things up, there's just really no infrastructure here in North Carolina to maintain the snow, to clean up the snow. So that's why I say this entire city just shuts down. So again, take it as a day off, enjoy it, relax, do what you have to do with the kiddos, or do what you have to do around the home, or get yourself in order for the next day to follow moving forward. And then bam, you have it. March comes around and everything starts to warm up. Everyone's back outside. Everyone's doing the things that they did when it was warm out. So that's just how the winter operates here. As you can see, it's a relatively short winter, but there are people still maneuvering. There are still people moving in terms of what they have already, timelined or even adjusted for their lifestyles and what they have to do. So there isn't a perfect time and there isn't a worse time. Most people are going to make it work for them, but I will definitely say people are still maneuvering, still moving during the winter. So if you think no one does anything, I mean, I'm sorry, but you got it wrong. Some people may not want to simply because it's cold, but some people don't care and actually make the things happen on their terms rather than what's going on all around them. Because of course we have individuals that like to sell before the holidays, And once those holiday times are here, sometimes you'll even have some people where they'll sell up until the holidays, then they'll just take the home off the market simply just to prepare for those holidays, because again, they're probably maybe hosting at that point in time. Or if they're not hosting, they just know that most people don't move during those times, so they'll probably just take their home off the market. And then when those holidays, the new year comes around, that home is right back on the market. That's actually a really common thing that you'll see. You'll maybe be able to pick up if you're following the market just as much as I am, that a lot of individuals do that. They'll list, and then if anything, nothing happens, then they'll just relist. And you know, at that point in time, there's obviously more eyes, more ears, more feet all around the market. So then yes, there's a likelihood for them to get that sold at that point in time. So if you haven't heard already, North Carolina is actually a really active state. You're gonna learn a little bit more if you actually watch the video I'll tag up above, in which it talks about why a lot of people move to North Carolina. You'll figure out that North Carolina has a lot going for themselves, and in fact, it's a lot that many people take advantage of. Some people may say it's not a good fit for them, and that's perfectly fine. Not every state does not fulfill everybody's needs. I can tell you from my personal experience, being up north, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Mass, all those states, I'm sorry, I love you guys, but no, you guys have way too long of an extended winter time, and that does not fulfill my needs and what it is that I'm looking for. So yeah, some people, you'll hear from others, it just doesn't work for them. But that's why that video is there for you to identify if North Carolina is a good fit for you, and based off of why everyone else is moving there, is that something that you can do? People move to North Carolina for various reasons. I mean, there's opportunities, job opportunities, a ton of them that you can find now, especially now with all these major companies coming here. But then also the affordability, the weather. I mean, I'm not gonna name it. The video is there for you to really do a deep dive into it. So tap into that to learn a little bit more. Why is North Carolina even an active state? You know, better yet, why are people even talking about North Carolina now? 2-3 years ago, North Carolina was not even on the map of where people were locating. Now it's top 10. So at this point, you may be thinking, well, I don't know, is moving during the winter time even a good option at this point? Well, let me share something with you. This may change your mind here. If you're someone that does not like attention, you're someone that doesn't like competition, you actually like to move in silence, well, then you may want to consider moving during the winter time, because as I mentioned already, many people do not look at the market during the winter times. And that's because the holidays are right around the corner, so their mind, their eyes, their attention are elsewhere. Speaking for someone that is thinking about moving during the winter, that's immediately less competition. So what does enable you to do? And it's happening right now as we speak, and a lot of people are not taking advantage of it for whatever reason. However, there's not many people, but there's a ton of homes being listed on the market, and they're at various price points. Whatever price point you're at, right? There's all across the price points, and they're not selling quickly. So what does that give you the opportunity to do? It gives you the opportunity to actually look around and actually find a home that fits you. Not being forceful, not forcing yourself to move into a specific home, but better yet, having the opportunity, the choices, the ability, the timeline, the time frame to walk into a home, preview it, and understand and sit down with yourself to see if that's even a move that you should be doing at that point in time. Now, if you wait during the spring, I'll tell you now, there's a lot more people that are going to be looking, and there's a lot more people that are going to be trying to move. So you're going to have a little bit more competition then. So it all depends. What do you like a little bit more? Do you like less competition, or do you like more competition? Less competition. Ultimately, my choice, me personally speaking, I would always look when no one else is looking, because I don't know, you may be able to get something that some people just will never get, especially when they're looking when it's the hot time or the hot season of when everybody else is looking. So pick your own poison. It's all out there for you to really do. And if you do have any questions, concerns, or anything that you want to know further about how does real estate work in North Carolina during the winter, go ahead and shoot me a call, text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. Always remember, I got your back in this market. So the most important thing that I want you guys to really understand and pick apart with this entire video here, with understanding, you know, if you're moving during the winter, what to really expect. I really want you to understand that real estate moves very cyclical. There's seasons to it. As everything comes up, everything comes down, and then it ramps up and it restarts all over again. Actually, in January, I would say that's probably by far one of the slowest, because again, everyone is just getting off of that high of having the holiday, celebrating, and kind of getting all that stuff in order, whether it's themselves, their kids, going on vacation for the winter time, getting away from the cold, I don't know. But that is one of the things. But I will say, in February, it starts to pick back up again, because again, March is right around the corner. March here, at least in North Carolina, it starts to warm up. Our winters aren't extremely long, so we don't really experience that low for a very, very long time. In addition, I will say a lot of people may actually wait until the snow disappears for them to actually start shopping again. So that's something that you could really keep in mind, consider when thinking about moving to the Raleigh, North Carolina area, and just look at the snow, look at the weather, and that maybe could be a good indicator for you. However, on the other hand, you have to consider that also another slow time that North Carolina experienced when it comes to slowdowns and just real estate in general. August, September is like the immediate first slowdown of the entire year after January, of course. And I mean, let's just put things in perspective. What goes on in August and September? People are done with vacations, or they might be getting back from vacation, or they might be going on their last vacation. And then, of course, the kiddos are going back to school. So yes, that is one of the key things. I mean, very few people are making any adjustments during those times. So that's something you could really consider. So to wrap things up here, that's a little bit of what goes on here in North Carolina during the winter. I hope I was able to share with you a lot of insights, or maybe a few insights that you didn't already know, in terms of how does North Carolina's real estate works during the winter, and if that's something you should even take advantage of. Now, as active as North Carolina is, we do have obviously our cyclical seasons, just like everything else. Everything goes up, everything comes down, but definitely keep in mind the amount of development and the amount of companies that are moving to this area. That is something that could either speed things up and destroy that entire timeline. That could make this video even invalid because of what's going on here. Anything could really spark that thing to keep it on fire and keep it really running. So definitely keep an eye on my videos, keep an eye on what's going on here, especially if you're thinking about moving to the Raleigh, North Carolina area. But if you do have any questions, concerns, or you just want to know a little bit something more about whatever it is, despite what I said on today's video, I am a licensed realtor here. So if you do have any questions or anything of that nature that you do want to know, you have more information on, go ahead and reach out to me. My number is going to pop up right there. Make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. Always remember, I got your back in this market.